All right, guys, so we have an absolutely loaded episode of Ravens Reports for you guys today. Ravens and Steelers injury updates ahead of this matchup that could determine the AFC North Division, as well as Aaron Rodgers and some guys from CBS Sports and Pat McAfee Show and others talking about the MVP conversation with Lamar Jackson, a huge factor when it comes to the NFL playoffs this season. An update on Deontay Johnson and Marlon Humphrey hyping up his boy Nate Wiggins and much more. Man, so let's go ahead and dive into the content. At number one, let's talk about this MVP conversation real quick because it seems to be on everyone's radar. Everyone's talking about Lamar Jackson, or is it Josh Allen for the MVP race? Josh Allen is the clear on odds favorite right now to win the award. And we were talking about this in the Discord the other day with the Patreon and everything. So Lamar Jackson is clearly dominating Josh Allen in almost every statistical category, including passing stats. Lamar Jackson has more passing yards, more passing touchdowns, a higher passer rating, better touchdown to interception ratio, less total interceptions, more rushing yards. Man, the only thing that Josh Allen has on Lamar right now is more rushing touchdowns and a higher QBR. Every single other quarterback statistic, man, Lamar Jackson is absolutely dominating in. Plus, he dominated him in their head-to-head matchup in Week 4 in a blowout win. The Lamar Jackson and the Ravens beat Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills 35-10 in an embarrassing fashion. Lamar Jackson is clearly the MVP this season, but I do acknowledge that the MVP award always goes to a player, typically a quarterback, with a dominant record in a division winner, right? Right now, I don't think Lamar's being considered, in the MVP conversation like Josh Allen, because the Ravens are a wild card right now as it stands. And they have 2 less wins than the Buffalo Bills. The Bills are the number 2 seed in the AFC and still fighting for the number 1 seed. And here's what Aaron Rodgers had to say on how a lot of times it typically just comes down to total record. But he said, let's not gloss over the type of season that Lamar Jackson's having.
Can we just not gloss over what Lamar's doing?
Amen.
I mean, can we not? He has, I think, 34 touchdown passes, I believe.
Yep.
And just, 3 INTs, I believe.
Yeah.
And he's, he's flirting with the all-time single-season passer rating record. This is from a guy who's just a runner, right? He could just run. That's all he can do, right? Just run. I love watching Lamar play, and love to see his continual growth and how he changes the game. I mean, obviously he's so dynamic, but he's really become such an elite passer of the football.
Almost to his detriment, Aaron, is what his mom's saying. His mom said, you're too good of a passer now. You're trying to let
this play is so ridiculous right here.
So stupid.
He's running so fast, but it's almost like he's in slow motion, and he's just everybody's trying to catch him. It's just ridiculous.
And he's pulling up his pants in the middle of it. I mean, it's he's special, but it does feel like Josh.
But let's not just gloss over this. He's having a ridiculous year. A lot of times, it comes down to record, right, wrong, or indifferent.
So how about that for all the people that we're calling Lamar Jackson a running back whenever one of the GOATs, one of the best quarterbacks of all time, one of the best throwers of the football calls another quarterback an elite passer? How does that set in, right? What type of analysis credit does an all-time quarterback get, right? If some fan or some analyst on a TV show or whatever saying that Lamar Jackson is not a good thrower, not a good quarterback, what type of weight does it carry when one of their favorite quarterbacks, one of the GOATs of all time, of slinging a pigskin, and Aaron Rodgers says that Lamar Jackson is an elite passer of the football? And that's not it, man. Tom Brady, who is the GOAT as far as NFL quarterbacks, has said the same exact thing. And if you look at the numbers, Lamar Jackson is the best passer of the football this season. He's very close to shattering the highest single-season passer rating of all time by an NFL quarterback. He's set several records already this season, and he's only about to turn 28 years old, and he's just getting started, baby. Before we get on to some of the Ravens and Steelers updates, I want you to take one more listen to one of the shows here on CBS Sports on this MVP talk. Man, take a listen.
What did this performance do to tighten that MVP conversation a bit?
Well, I felt like me and you, we've talked about this conversation week in and week out. Josh Allen is the odds favorite right now, but individually speaking, let's keep it real. If you were to compare the numbers for Josh Allen versus Lamar Jackson, There's nothing to compare. Lamar Jackson has been 10 times better than Josh Allen. Josh Allen has had a few moments, right? You can go back to the Bills versus Chiefs game, the lateral. He's had some moments, but look at the moments that Lamar Jackson has been able to put forth. Look at how dominant he's been from the start of the season to currently now in the month of December. Lamar Jackson has been, his numbers right now actually have been better than what he did a year ago at this point when he won the award. So what are we talking about? I mean, you have to be real. I understand the overall team record plays a big part, but when you talk about just the dominance that we've seen from Lamar Jackson, he's been the most dominant quarterback in the National Football League. And if you were asking me, Joe, who should be the favorite right now, today, it should be Lamar Jackson. And I felt that way before today's matchup against the New York Giants because he's been outstanding when you look at his numbers currently compared to what he's done in years past when he brought home the MVP.
All right, guys, so at number 2, some big updates for Ravens Steelers, man. All right, so let's start with the big one here. TJ Watt had a low ankle sprain, did not return to the game against the Philadelphia Eagles this last Sunday. And TJ Watt missed practice today, but Mike Tomlin said he is not ruled out as far as being able to play this upcoming Saturday. It's a short week. He sprained that ankle. He's not practicing yet, but Mike Tomlin not ruling him out. What's very important to note is that the Steelers are 1-10 all time without TJ Watt playing since he's been on the roster. 1-10. Let that sink in for a second, man. He is like their defense. He is a absolute Hall of Fame pass rusher. They got some other guys, right? Don't get me wrong. Patrick Queen can play, Nick Herbig. They got some guys in the secondary, Minkah Fitzpatrick and others. They're well coached, but TJ Watt is what makes that motor run. TJ Watt is the DNA of that defense, especially schematically, how they like to run stuff. And him not being out there would be a huge blow for the Pittsburgh Steelers. They've also missed George Pickens the last 2 weeks. However, George Pickens was seen today at practice, working off to the side, doing some drills, moving around, looking pretty comfortable. And as far as going back to TJ Watt, Mike Tomlin said that Watt was walking around the team facility, rather comfortably, but he was not at practice today. He's probably going to do everything he can to go out there, but even if he is, I don't anticipate him to be 100%. Another injury with the Steelers is Deontay Jackson left the game early against the Eagles after re-aggravating a back injury. So he's questionable upcoming in this game. But Mike Tomlin says he's completely comfortable with James Pierre and Corey Trice starting at cornerback, if Deontay Jackson is out this upcoming week against Baltimore. What's so important to note is that Lamar Jackson has only ever played the Pittsburgh Steelers at home one time in his career. This is absolutely insane. In 2018, Lamar's rookie year, he didn't start. It was still Flacco. In 2019, in Week 18, we had already had the number 1 seed locked up, and they rested Lamar Jackson. In 2020, that was the one game they played at home. That was a 24-28 loss, and that was without the fans being in attendance because that was the COVID year. So Lamar Jackson has never played the Steelers at home with the fans as a starter. That's absolutely mind-blowing. I need you guys to hear this. In 2021, Lamar Jackson left the season early with an injury. Same thing in 2022. 2023, Week 18, we played the Pittsburgh Steelers at home, but we already had the number 1 seed locked up again, similar to 2019. So Lamar Jackson has never played the Pittsburgh Steelers at home with a full crowd. That is absolutely crazy. I don't know if that hits you guys like it hit me, but I think this is going to be something different, man. The Ravens are on an absolute mission right now, and they have a shot at the number 3, possibly the number 2 seed, and a division title on the line at home in Baltimore, man. This is going to be an absolutely crazy game with all the chips on the table. Plus, if the Ravens win this football game, they automatically lock up a playoff spot. They would clinch at least a wild card spot. All right, so at number 3, quick update on former Pittsburgh Steeler Deontay Johnson. Looks like he's not going to be suiting up as a Baltimore Raven ever again. He refused to come into the game when the Ravens really needed him against the Philadelphia Eagles after Rashad Bateman went out with injury. And then he had a 1-game suspension, and now it sounds like it's reported that he's mutually excused what seems like to be the remainder of the season, at least this upcoming week. I don't think he's ever going to put on a Ravens uniform again. However, the Ravens are not going to straight up cut him, because if he signs with another team in free agency, the Ravens get a comp pick. Plus, you don't want to risk Deontay Johnson going to a contender that you could play in the playoffs, like the Texans, Steelers, Chiefs, Bills, et cetera, right? So the Ravens are going to hold on to him and probably just excuse him. So that way that doesn't happen. They get a comp pick, and they don't let him go to a contender. At number 4, Marlon Humphrey, our guy, who's having a Pro Bowl type of year, all-pro type of year, really. One of the best corners this year as far as at the catch point, coverage grade, all of it, man. Marlon Humphrey having a great season, and leads the Ravens in interceptions, one of the top interceptors of the football in the NFL as a corner, league-wide as well. He's hyping up his teammate here, Nate Wiggins. Check out this clip from Marlon Humphrey's Instagram Live.
Hey, top rookie versus top rookie. What it do?
What it do?
Top rookie versus top rookie. What it do? They going at you? They going at the wrong one.
Wow.
Hey, look. I said it here first. People. I said it here first. But can't nobody cover them, put 2 on them. You know what? Okay.
So here's what's crazy, man. Our guy, Nate Wiggins, the rookie, who was clamping up Malik Neighbors, is the number 1 cornerback in catch rate allowed. 43.6 catch rate allowed. That's the best in the entire NFL among corners with at least 50 targets. That's right behind Lassiter, Derek Stingley, J.C. Horn, Deontay Jackson, Darius Slay, DJ Reed, Christian Gonzalez, Denzel Ward. Man, elite company. That's what Nate Wiggins is doing. So him being on the football field a lot more, and then the safety changes that we had with Kyle Hamilton or Darius Washington starting has been absolutely monumental for this Ravens defense. Over the last few weeks, the Ravens have been one of the better defenses in the National Football League since making those changes. So the defense getting hot, and what this offense is capable of with Derrick Henry, Lamar Jackson, Zay Flowers, Rashad Bateman getting hot, man. This is a team that you don't want to let get hot. I'm telling you right now, man. This is crazy. At number 5, I need you guys to see this. Every team in the current AFC playoff picture, the Baltimore Ravens have played or will have played before the playoffs start. Let me show you. The Chiefs are the 1 seed. Very close loss week 1. We know the whole toe tap thing with Isaiah Likely. The 2 seed, the Bills. The Ravens blew out the Buffalo Bills 35-10 at home. Made Josh Allen look pedestrian. They just ran the football down the Bills' throat, man. The Bills do not match up well with the Ravens. They're not a great run defense team. And lately they've been giving up a lot to the air as well. But the 3 seed, the Steelers, very close loss in week 11. That weird interception, penalties. They get that rematch this upcoming week on Saturday. We know that. The 4 seed is the Texans. They'll play them on Christmas. The 6 seed is the Broncos. They blew them out 41-10. Lamar Jackson with like 4 touchdowns and 300 and something passing yards in that game. And then the 7 seed, the Chargers, it was a comfortable win. It was actually not as close as the final score, but the Ravens put up 30 in that game to 23 with the Chargers. So every team that's in the playoff picture right now, which is probably going to be the playoff picture because of other teams that are, in the hunt per se, like the Dolphins and the Colts, they don't have a high chance of knocking one of these other teams out, and the Chargers, the Broncos, Ravens, Steelers, Texans, any of those teams, right? So every single team the Ravens could play in the playoffs, it'll be a rematch type of game. So that's huge to note because there's none of these teams that just whooped on us, right? In fact, it's the opposite. The Ravens beat most of these teams, or if we didn't, it came down to the wire. So my point is there's not a single team in the AFC that the Ravens are just flat out not as good as, that the other team is just better. It's a wide open playoff race for these teams. The Ravens can absolutely go to the Super Bowl and win it. Now, the best team in the NFC right now is looking like the Eagles. That was a close game, and the Ravens did not play their best football. We lost to the Eagles just a few weeks ago. However, we were able to slow down their offense, and the Ravens' offense didn't have their best performance. So absolutely, the Ravens are capable of winning the Super Bowl this year, man. just needed you guys to see that, what the current playoff picture is looking like and how the Ravens have played or will play every single one of those teams. All right, guys, so if you got any value out of today's episode of Ravens Reports, man, make sure to smash the like button. It really helps out the channel. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. Thank you all for tuning in. Can't wait to watch this game upcoming with you with the Steelers, man. We're going to have a preview for you guys here soon. So make sure you guys subscribe and notification bell so you don't miss anything we got for you. Love you guys. We'll see you in the next video.
Ray, when he wasn't looking, he ran me over.